Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start my argument, allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Delana Christiandy, and I'm from the SMA Negeri 1 Sewon as the opposition team in this motion. In this motion, I would like to state my disagreement about this motion. As middle-class parents, this house would support their child choices to deprioritize support formal education in favor of pursuing digital creative skills or career, for example, the content creation, audiovisual design, and etc. With our status quo here, we think we still can find our talent or career, though we still need to pursue our formal education. And also, deprioritize formal education is not the best choice. Before I'm going to my argument, allow me to rebut the cases from the proposition team. In this rebut case, I have 2 points. Now let's move on to our first point. The first point, why this principally the right type of parenting? You said that in this parenting, child can find their meaning in their own life based on their life curiosity and their gifts. For me, that's not enough for our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to explain why children can find their life only based on their curiosity and gifts. Child needs a guidance from an expert like their parents or teacher in school, because at their age, their mental state is still not stable. That's why they must have a guidance for looking their meaning of life. So I think that this principally is wrong. And now let's move on to my second point. You said here that world slowly grow into creative economy and life is about creativity. For us, creative is from formal education. In formal education, we learn everything basic, start from math, reading, drawing, and etc. Now, let's move on to our argument. In this argument, I have 2 arguments. The first argument is how much formal education is important for us, and the second one is formal education does not affect that for child creativity. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's move on to our first argument. So what is a formal education? Formal education is a structured education that runs from primary school to university and includes specialized programs for vocational, technical, and professional trainings. It means here that formal education is the place where we receive our first education. Ladies and gentlemen, for us, formal education is the thing that we must receive in our life, because without them, we can't fulfill the standard of our life. For example, is how to read. This is the most basic life standard skill. We got this from our teacher in first primary school. Reading is the most basic skill for our life. Without reading, we can't do anything. Another example is counting. We learn how to count from number 1 until 10, 100, and many more numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, where we get those basic from formal education. That's why formal education is an important part of life. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our second argument. I would like to state that the formal education is not affect any child creativity or talent. Why? The reason is simple. Formal education, of course, support any child creativity or talent. What kind of support that formal education gives to them? Have you known about extracurriculars? Extracurriculars is a formal education program where you can get any education from outside school activities. Like for example, if you want to improve your sports skills like volleyball, you can enter the volleyball club. This is the one of formal education facilities that give to students in order to help them to build their creativity mind. Ladies and gentlemen, we already at the end of conversation is conclusion. So based on my argument that I already stated, I hope that we can think twice about this planning to deprioritize formal education. That's all my arguments, and thank you for the opportunity.